came up with the result and he worked really hard. If you want to perform, I'm going to get to know. And there are 3 people who are commenting on the YouTube. So those I'm no, still I'm not able to recall the name, but still just stay connected and you're going to learn a lot of things. Okay. So let's get started. So there are 2 things that we're going to do today in this. This is the 4th day, right? Or 3rd day, I guess, whatever it may be. So we are going to see what we are going to build at the end of this bootcamp. So I'm going to give you a glimpse and then we are going to learn the React course. Okay. So what we are going to build is, so somebody help me with the number of the, it is 4th day. Fine. So I don't remember. Fine. So it's 4th day. So before that, so I'll take the poll at the end. So how you guys are feeling? Are you feeling more confident or something like that? We'll do it later on. Fine. So let's first go and finish what exactly you're going to build at the end of this bootcamp. Okay. So I'm just quickly sharing the white screen so that where I'm going to show you what exactly we are doing. Or let me just show you theoretically, then I'll show you practically. Okay. So first thing, what we're going to do is we are going to create a mail client application. Okay. So you might have used your Gmail, right? So Gmail is having the number of things on the left hand side, the email box, and there will be a button to create the email and that sort of stuff we are going to create. So it will our project will consist of, so this is mini project by the way. Okay. It will not be fully end-to-end project. So data what we are going to store will come from Redux. Okay, so that is where we are going to learn Redux. Okay? It will be JSON-like structure. Okay, so once we will cover that concept on Monday, you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so we will require the folders, that is left-hand side folder. Just everybody try to imagine the Gmail that you guys are using. Do we have anybody over here who is not using Gmail? Do let me know honestly so that I can just show you quickly what exactly. Do we have anybody over here? Type in no if we don't have anybody over here. Yeah, right. So we don't have anybody over here who don't or who doesn't know what exactly Gmail looks like, right? Good. So there is no response. It means there is nobody. Fine. So there will be folders on the left hand side like sent, inbox, spam, n number of folders. Okay, so that will be one component. Second is mailing list. So in that mailing list, there will be emails and all those stuff. And in there will be mail text, actual mail, the content of the mail. See, first folder, in that folder, if you open that folder, the list of mails will come. If you open the mail, there are 10 emails. And out of that, you have opened Tech Amplify's email. And that's where you saw, I don't know what was the text, but you saw there is a link to click and you got redirected to Tech Amplify's group, right? And where we have connected, right? So that is a mail text, okay, the whatever text, that is the third component. And last component is compose mail. Like if that is the email that you received. Now, if you want to send the email, you will click on a button, right? That will be a button and that compose will pop up and then it will look like that, okay? So, but these are 4 components, but in addition to that, in order to contain these 4 components into our React app, we need to have our container. So that container will be our app.js, which was earlier there. So that is what we are going to use for different functionality. We are going to create a different component. Like yesterday, I told you, yesterday or day before yesterday, we created a folder called as components, right? Inside that, we will create all these 4 components in where we will, when we will create that particular app. Okay, that time we will create a new React app. And then, so it will, these 3 things, 1, 2, 3, will be 3 separate, will be shown in 3 separate columns. Okay. So first column will be, so now I'm not going to create it like a structure of Gmail exactly. I'm having a different structure over here, which we, a lot of people use for the business related stuff. That is what we are following as well. So first column will be boxes, that is folders, inbox, outbox, then spam, then whatever the boxes, folders that you will see. If you click on a box, the second block of the second column like structure will open up where you will get all the list of email. And if you click on email, the third, that will be a bigger container, that will be a bigger column wherein you will see the exact details of the email. Okay, so that is what structure we are going to build. So that is what I want to show you with the white screen. And the last thing, that the compose email will be a full screen component and it will come as a pop-up. Okay, so let me just quickly show you on the white screen how it will look like. I guess you guys might have imagined, but let's just for the understanding, let me just quickly show you how it will look like. Okay, so it will be your app.js. Sorry, don't thing from the technical perspective. This will be your web application. In that web application, what we will have is we will have one container wherein on the left hand side, so there will be something on the top actually before that. Okay, so let me just quickly draw a horizontal line over there. Yeah, there will be some header and there will be some footer as well. So I'll just quickly maintain these things. Yeah, and inside that, so I'm not good with the drawings and all. Yeah, here there will be folders, the first structure and the first component. Then there will be the emails, list of emails that you will be able to see only the headlines or the first few words from the title of the email. And then if you click on a folder like inbox, all the emails that are available in inbox will appear over here. And if you click on any email, you will see that the details of the email, that sort of structure we're going to create. But all the emails and what is the location of folder and all those stuff, we are not going to store in database. We will have a JSON kind of structure. We will store that in a variable in one of the JS file, and that we will try to fetch. Is that clear with everyone? Everybody clear what we are going to do at the end? Is it interesting first? Can we have a role-like structure as Gmail? But then if you click on that, the third component you need to create, that you just go and try. This is what I'm going to teach you. That's what I told. Now going forward, you learn the concept basically. Now how you want to implement, that's up to you. Okay. So at least just first, so this is not easy by the way. This is right now you're looking just as simple as that. There will be different boxes, but it's not that easy. Sending data from one component to another component, and then from child component to again parent component, that is a different game altogether. Okay, so this is not that easy as you're looking from here. So this is what is possible. So we can also create a row-like structure as of Gmail, but it requires more time. Actually, it is not possible within this time period that we are having. Okay, so that's why I'm not taking that sort of example. Okay, so this is much simpler, which will help you to clear out all the concepts that we have learned till now. Okay, yes, is it interesting? So would you like to build it along with me? Yes, yes. So who would like to build it along with me? Yes. So then for that you have to stay till the end of this boot camp. Okay, so I want all of you to be here on 31st as well. Okay, so of course we'll have it a bit early, not at the same time. Okay, so but that will be on the second last or last day, so both the ways. But okay, so it will be really fun. So see, only learning is good, but if you want to implement it, if you know how to use all the concepts that you learn when the problem occurs or whenever the situation needs that particular skill, so that is something which I called as a software developer. Okay, if you're not able to implement your concepts, you're learning the knowledge that you have, when you are able to solve the problem, then it is like, so that is a kind of problem solving thing that you will understand at the end of this particular bootcamp. Okay, so let's go. Let's get back to the work. Let's understand this thing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly stop this share so that you can have stopped, right? Okay, whole thing has gone. Wow. Fine. So these are two things I can share simultaneously, I guess. Yep. So required components are this. Then it's not only about components. Okay, we need routes as well. Okay, there will be. So tomorrow we are going to learn routes. React route. It's just a library that you need to add and you need to set the routes. That's it. That's not complicated. So in that we need routes. Like there will be routes. So if you click on a folder, right, a different route will open up, right? So data will come from different thing, and the list of emails will be different. Okay. Send emails, drafts, trash, whatever there is in trash, if you delete. So that kind of delete function you will not be able to create over here. But we will try to mimic the view of email client, that you will have your own email Outlook kind of software that you can use it for your personal purpose. That's what we are doing actually. We are also having our own implementation. So lot of softwares that we require at Tech Amplifier, like maintaining students' data, sending them emails, and there are a couple of softwares that we are building. So that is only for Tech Amplifiers for now. So until unless they are not evolved, so there are a lot of challenges that we are facing. Fine. So we will also implement route to this folder, and after clicking on every folder, the new URL will be there. There will be change in the URL, and that will render the corresponding component, like this corresponding email list. Like inbox will have the email list from the all the emails that are there in the inbox array or inbox kind of structure. Okay, so that's how we are going to create four components, three components, no, four components and four routes, right? Yeah, four components and four routes. Okay, so that is what is planned at the end of the bootcamp. Okay, so let's get started and learn the concepts. Until unless you don't know what is state, what is hook and hooks, and then if you don't know that, you will not able to learn that. Okay, so shall we move forward and shall we learn the state? Yes, yes or no? Sorry, not state. Shall we learn the hooks? Yep. Yes, right. Yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. So let's get started. Let's get started. Okay. So without further delay, let me just tell you what exactly hooks is, why it has implemented. So why there is a concept called as hooks. So there was a problem basically. So whenever you add any concept into the picture, so that basically is solving some sort of problem. Okay. So that is what hooks is doing actually in React. Let's just try to understand. So we are also going to add searching and sorting. Forget about that. So we will be doing like if you search, you will get that sort of email. If you want to sort the emails from descending order of the date or the title, that we are going to do it. Okay, so that will be there. Okay, so that functionality will be there. Fine. So let's come back to the React hooks. So hooks are available in new edition, that is React 16.8 only. If you are using the version, or if so, since you have installed latest node, so you will be having, of course, the React version above 16 and 8, 16.8. But if so, if you are having this particular hooks, the concept of hook will not work. Okay, so it's a new additional feature. Okay, so it's additional feature that they have added. So who developed React? Can you tell me quickly? By whom? Developed and maintained by whom? Yeah. So in the on the first day itself, I told you FB, right? So these guys thought, this is something problematic. Let's add a new feature into this. Now then they came up with this particular thing. See, so there will be React 1, React 2, and React 16.8. After 16.8, they have introduced the concept of hooks. Okay, so this is very important, and every okay. So anyways, not an issue. Well tried. I appreciate that you are at least trying to answer. So that's good thing. Whether you are right or wrong, that's a different part altogether. Okay. So if you make mistake over here, so that's okay. But I don't want you to go and make mistake when you're facing interviewer. Okay. So do whatever you wanted to do over here. I'll just correct you. I'll not. So nothing is gonna. It will not cost you anything, even though if you're wrong here over here. But if you are wrong, if you gave wrong answer in the interview, it will cost you, I don't know what sort of package that company was offering, will offer in future, but that package you will cost it, you will not get that. Okay, so make all the mistakes. I'm here to help you to correct everything. Okay, so that is how you will learn. If you're not going to type it, you're not going to learn it basically. Okay, so that's why I put more focus on interacting. Connect with me, type it there, connect with me, just be there on your toes so that you will learn the maximum things from this particular bootcamp. Okay, so let's get started. Like why they came up with this? Okay, so there is first, before that, hooks doesn't work inside a class. Yesterday we created a component. I told you there are two types of component. What are those? Tell me quickly there in the chat box. How what are two types of components in React? Class and function, right? Yeah, class and function. So yesterday we saw both, right? Function component as well as class component. So, but if you are using class component, you can't use hooks. That is what the restriction. You can't use hooks because that is the reason behind it. That's why they introduced. There are three motivations behind it actually, behind adding hooks into the React library. So there are a couple of them. Three of them are there. Find it out. But this is what something I really like, because the main motivation behind adding hooks is they don't want to use classes, or they don't want to implement the classes, because classes confuse both people and machine. If you're creating classes, how many of you are here who doesn't understand the concept of class yet? Do we have anybody over here who doesn't understand how to create object, how to create class, and how to call that class or something like that? Yes. Do we have anybody over here? Be frank. So that's nothing. Yeah. So yeah, we have Swaraj. Yes, that's good. So I was at your stage. That's why I prefer Python. Then I got to know in Python as well, you need to create a class. Okay, so that's what. But then in Python it is very different approach. So that is good. But I used to hate these classes and object-oriented concepts because of this Java actually basically. But then when I started learning Python and I got to know, oh, this is interesting. Then class is also an important thing. Then I started implementing. When you will implement, you will automatically get everything clear. Okay, this is how you need to do. Okay, so if you're going to do the same thing again second time, you will be like, oh, I know this thing, I did it that time. Okay, so you will not get confused, or it will be very easy for you to implement the things. Okay, so that's why I ask you, once I'm done, go and implement it. Like whenever you're going to do your college practicals, you will feel something like, अरे हाँ ये तो किया था अपन ने, है ना? तो हो सकता है, right? So that sort of thing. So at least logical capacity you will build with this workshop if you implement together with me. Okay, if you're not, then God bless you. I can't do anything. Okay, so now hooks only work in React. That is what mentioned over there. Fine. Again, I repeated the point. Okay, so that's okay. Fine. So let's go and try. Let's give it a try. That how hooks are going to make your life easy. Okay, that will be our first try. Okay, let's go and give it a try. Okay, let me just quickly share the next screen of this particular ID. Okay, so in this ID, we're gonna implement this hook. Where is share? Yeah, here I go. Yes, is my code, VS code is visible? Yes, is that visible? Yeah, perfect. Perfect, good. So Vimal is having a big number in front of whole things. Okay, good. Fine. So okay, that is Vimal. Okay, Kamal is different, Vimal is different. Oh my God. So I got confused, sorry. Fine, let's go. Okay, so now here, yesterday we created a couple of things, right? So we created app, then this is a function component, then we added a layout kind of component, and that was our class component. Okay, and here we saw the concept of state. Okay, now there is a state. Now, as I said, right? So there is one more problem actually why we implemented React is we actually need to create, whenever you want to change the object, anything. Okay, whenever you want to update any data, you need to create a function, and that function will set, you need to call this set state, and that is what is going to set the data, and it is creating a kind of dependency. You need to create a function, then you need to call set state, and in that set state you're going to do the you're going to assign the value. Again, you need to repeat this JSON kind of object where you are setting value. Imagine that if you have number of values, like here there are two things. Okay, so you need to do it twice. If you want to set the value of two things, you need to do it twice. Imagine if you have 100 of records, that how will you do that? So it is not possible. It is impossible to update or write all the things like this. A की value ये रख दो, B की value ये रख दो, C की value ये रख दो, D की value ये रख दो, kind of thing, right? So that is not possible. Or sometimes humans, as we are human beings, will make some errors into that while giving the values. So there is hooks will help you to understand or to simplify the things. Okay, so we'll see that concept, how we can replace the whole scenario that we did over here. But before that, let's go and try understand how to implement hooks. Okay, so we have not done yet. Okay, let's go and try that first. Okay, so for the testing purpose, I created one more component called as test.js, wherein I already wrote a code. I'll explain you what exactly the code is doing. I want your complete focus over here. Everybody with me? Give me yes into the chat box if you're with me. So this is very important concept. Yes, so we have Swaraj with me. Anybody else? We have Vimal. Yes. Who else? We have Renalini, Ameya, Pradyumna. Okay. Yes, that's it. Only 4-5 people. Good. Stay there. Yeah, we have Pratik as well. Good. Fine. So what actually this hook does is, hook is something which will help us to maintain a connection with a variable. Okay, maintain a connection with a variable. And hooks are there are two hooks actually: use state and use effect. Okay, so use effect is another hook which I'll explain you in a minute. Use effect is another hook. Okay, right now we haven't imported over here. This is an example of only use state. Okay, so we'll see only use state first, and then we will go to the use effect. Okay, now yes, Vimal, sorry, not Vimal, Kamal, help me understand if you know any other hook than this. So actually there are two, but I'm just cross checking. Yeah, Kamal. So Kamal has not responded to that. Yeah, right. So there are only two hooks: use state and use effect. There are the purpose of both the hooks is different. Okay, so you will not. So there are different reasons why we are calling it. Okay, so let's go and implement this. Use state first. Find what he was trying to say. Just a minute, let me check. Use state and use effect are commonly used hooks. Okay, so that is what I have used till now. I don't know if there are any. That's why I asked you. Okay, most 90% of projects which I did till now, I used only two hooks, and that is as far as my knowledge, there are only two. I don't know if they have added any. See, all the software industries, they are trying to upgrade every time. How many of you updated your Instagram recently or your WhatsApp recently? Yes, you might have upgraded recently, right? Either Google Pay, right? So see, all the people are upgrading their things or their softwares or their products every month or twice a month or every quarter. Okay, so that is Windows Studio. Okay, good, right. So that is a different thing actually. Windows, there is no latest version of Windows right now, so that will be 10. But if you go and check the applications or softwares or the libraries, any apps in your Android phone, so they're continuously upgrading. Even your mobile phones, iOS name, operating system, normal. I'm not talking about Apple. So normal operating system, you are getting the updates every now and then. So in a similar way, all the libraries out there in the market, all the frameworks, they are upgrading every now and then. Like let's take an example of Python, right? So Python 2.0 was really bad. Then when they came up with next version of Python, that is Python 3, then onwards it started gaining the boost, right? So then people started using that Python for AI, ML, and that sort of stuff. And now Python is something which everybody wants to learn, okay? And that is a different part. But since they made an improvement, that's why they are popular, okay? Likewise, this React is also going to do a lot of increments in future. So there will be a lot of features which will come up in the next few months or so. Actually, they are planning there. There is FB is not going to stop. Okay, so Mark Zuckerberg, he's really great. Again, I don't have words to appreciate him, but he is really great. Okay, so let's go and try to understand how we are going to create hooks. Okay, so these hooks. So that is syntax of writing a hook. Okay, you need to create a variable. So let me just remove this thing and let me just do it again. Okay, or we will create with a normal function as well later on. Okay, first, so that let's try to understand this example. Okay, there is a variable called as count. Okay, and of that variable, if I click on a button, I want to increase the number. Right, I increase the number. Right, so if so whenever the number will increase, I need to reassign it again, like we did it over here. Like suppose here is a button over here. If I click on that button, I am going to call the update function, and that update will, what it will do, it will set the state, but the existing value of existing value of that particular variable plus one, that sort of thing it will increment, and then this set state will replace the value of state, right? And that state will get printed over here, set dot state, sorry. So whatever the key over there, that will get shown over there. Okay, so right now we will not be able to see text. Let me just quickly remove this thing. Okay, let me make it text so that it will match the syntax. Okay. Okay, I forgot from. Fine. So here, so text, this is a variable. Text is a variable. Let's say, take an example. Okay. So this, in order to update this text, okay. So text is having values, take amplifiers. Okay, and that we are adding in a JSON object, and then we are assigning to state. And now this, in order to update text, we need to first update state, then the text. So there is no direct access of this variable. Do we have any access? Do we can we directly go and like replace this value of this variable? That is not possible. Okay, so there is only one way, using normal state that we learned yesterday. But in order to avoid that, see, now just look at this. Now I'm changing the data. I just wanted the text value of text variable to get changed. But now we need to go back. We need to set the state. State will change, and then what change value we will assign, or this state will assign to this particular variable. That's a long structure. Okay? We need to avoid that. So for that we have hooks that also comes into the pair, but it's not a key and value pair. Like here, state was a key and value pair, right? So state is containing a key and value, right? So hook is, use state is hook. It's also in a pair, but it's not a key and value. Actually, this is a variable, and this is the method that is going to change that variable. Just try to understand. Don't look down. Just try to understand this particular funda. Okay. So use state is the hook which will help us. Okay, which will help us to initialize. Okay, here what we are doing to initialize the value of the variable called as count. Okay, so value of count we have initialized over here as 0. Okay, so if I initialize the value of 1, so actually right now there is it is this text is not there on the screen, so you will not be able to see that, but I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so this use state, what it is doing, it is assigning the value of this variable that, and for this variable there is a corresponding method called as set count. So if you want to update count, what you need to do is call the method set count and pass the value of the new value, pass the new value, that's it. Okay, so now here you don't need to create so anybody over here who is aware about getter and setter concept from oops, over here? Yep, Kamal is aware about that. Vimal is aware about that. Any Pradyumna is aware about that, right? But here we are not getting anything. Okay, so this is not as it is applicable of that getter and setter method. Just try to understand over here using hooks. See, this is one type of hook. So another use state. Use state is going to help you do that. Use effect is not. That is a different. That is for different structure. Okay. So this particular use state hook is going to help you to set the new value to the variable. Okay, so that's what its purpose is. Okay, so if you are doing this is called as initializing of that hook. So initially we have the hook called as use state. If you want to create another variable, or if you want to use another variable, for that you will be creating another hook. Okay, so suppose here the variable is name, and set name will be the corresponding function will be always in this particular thing. So you can have it anything over here actually. And here I'll pass the value as a string, empty string. There will be nothing. Or I can have a default value as my name, which is my favorite. Okay, so you can give anything. Okay, I'll show you about that as well. Okay, so later on. So just for example, I just show you. Okay, so like that you can create multiple hooks as you want. Okay, syntax is same. Yes, so syntax is same. So it's not about syntax. It's just like variable declaration. Like in normal thing you might have seen. Int a is equal to a is equal to 10 or a is equal to 0. This is normal syntax integration initialization, variable initialization there in C++ or Java as well. So that is what I'm doing. This is variable. The const is a data type. So now it's not data type actually. It's a keyword that we use. It means the particular whole array. This is syntax. Okay, this is how you're going to write it. Okay, so first component of that array will be count. Second will be first will be the variable. Second will be the method to update that variable. Okay, so that's the syntax. And then here you are going to use state, that is a hook, and which will initialize the value whatever you want to assign. Okay, now the second thing I just did like that. Now suppose, let me just quickly take it out. Here is a button. Okay, so now so here I wanted to use the value of count. So initially the value of count is 0. So if you go and execute this, okay, if you go and execute this, you will see the value of count as 0, because that is what we initialize. Let me just quickly go and add this test. Okay, now there is one more thing. Okay, so yesterday while creating this layout, we used this export default. Okay, why I asked you to focus on that, because that is what we used to do in classes. So here as well you can do it there, but there is one more way of exporting the component, is by exporting it at the end of the component. Okay, like export default and the name of the component. Okay, so this is another way of exporting. You can directly write export default like here itself, but it is good practice to export it at the end, so that you will maintain how many components are there and how many of them you are exporting, and which one is the default component that you are exporting. Okay, so that's the basic thing. Okay, so this is test is getting exported over here. So it is exported, it means I can import it there as well in my app.js. Okay, so let's quickly import it /test/ this arrow, and it will be done. Okay, so yeah, so there is an error. So whenever you're going to save the file, just try to check if there are any errors. Okay, so there is an error, test is not defined. Why it is not defined? Can anyone tell me? Yes, I just want to check if you understood the concepts. Yes, why the test is, it is asking test is not defined. Not global. Okay, well tried. Good, Suraj. So this is what will help me to understand what you understood. Yes, anybody else? Can you please tell me why this error is? If you face that sort of error, what you will do? That's what I wanted to do. Might be not important. Yes, exactly, Kamal. Yes, exactly. I have not imported it. You can't use directly. So this is second component. This is coming from second file. This component reading is different file. So yesterday itself, when we use layout in app.js, I imported that layout over here. That's why we were able to use it. Now, same thing. I'm going to do it for that other component. Component name is test. Import test. कहाँ से उठाएंगे test? From. This is syntax. Okay, I forgot a semicolon here. Let me give it right now. Yeah. So dot. If you put dot, it will start searching. Okay, dot slash. It will start searching for all the files in the same directory of that app. App is in the directory of src. App is in the folder of src. So it is showing src में क्या क्या है? App.test है, components है, index है, ये xyz. Okay. So I want to go in components. Now if I put slash, it will show me अरे components में क्या क्या है? There is a layout, there is a test. I already imported layout. I want to import test this time. Okay. From component slash test, I have imported this test, and this test will be able to. I'll be using it over here, saving the data. And this time it will work. Yeah. Yes. So here I go. Actually, let me just take it upside. Let me just remove this because at the end it is just not looking good. Okay, quickly just Control X, and I'm just replacing this with that. Okay, so just for better view. Okay, I'm just trying to help me. Sorry, I'm just trying to help you with the things or the concepts of React. So don't judge with the UI that we built. Okay, so this is not something will stay. This is not something will stay forever. Okay, we'll make it interactive. First, understand the concept. That's the more important. Okay, so right now here, click me will not do anything because I removed that method. But you can see you clicked 0 times. Okay, so from where it is coming? It is coming from test. And in test, what we are trying to return over here, we are returning a div. That div contains a paragraph. That div contains a button after paragraph. Okay, so you clicked count is the variable, right? But here you are seeing 0. If I go and update this value to, let's suppose 10. Again, this is my favorite number. Okay, that's 10 times. See, look at this. I saved the thing and it is coming out. But it means you state whatever value you are passing over here, it will initialize the variable value with that particular thing. This is called initializing the hook corresponding to that particular variable. Okay. Now let's go and try to write a logic over here, so that after clicking on the button, we need to change the value. Okay. So how we are going to do it? What event is click event. On the on-click event, we need to call the function or the method which we used to do it over here. Here, you look at this. This is input. On change of the input, we used to call the update method, and that update method used to set the state over here. Okay, but here the same thing is going to work, but the block of code that we added in between, that is not needed because we already have set count. Okay, so that is what is going to happen over here. Okay, but the syntax is a bit different. Just I'll help you out. Okay, so on click is the method. Sorry, on click is an event. On the click when this event will occur, there will be a function which will get triggered. Okay, so see, it is not just as similar to that. Like you can't directly type, on change set thing, something like that. Okay, set count. You can't write like this directly. Okay, so if you do it like this, kya hua hai? Sorry. So if you do like this on click, like this is as I told you yesterday, you need to write the name of the function. If there are any parameters, you need to pass it. So it is not going to work like that. If you do it like this, let me just show you, it will not work. Okay, so there must be an error. Yeah, so fail to compile, that is what it is showing. Because no, that was the previous one. Let me just check. Yeah, error is not there, but error must be there in the console. Yeah, so React limits the number of renders, prevent infinite loops. Yeah, this is going in infinite loops. Okay, so it is happening continuously. It is not taking that event as a parameter. Okay, so it is not waiting for the event. Okay, this function we are creating that only call this method if the on click event is going to happen. Okay, so that's why this call will go and trigger, or the set function set count will trigger on the click of the button. Okay, so let's go and click. Okay, so what we are doing is on the click of button we are calling the set count variable, sorry, set count method, and to that variable we are passing new value every time. See, now second time it will count, value of count will be 2. See, it is updating, it is storing the updated value. That's why third time when we are going to do is the number will change. Okay, see, now I click, it become 1. Now if I click, it will become 2. So 3 values stored in that variable. Now if I click, it will become 4. Okay, so that's how we are able to first it will, so from the developer perspective it will reduce number of lines of code, and from the application perspective it will make it very easy. There the performance of your application will improve because of this hook that we have just used. Understood? Anybody is having any question? I'm going to show you example with name as well. Okay, same thing we are going to do what we did yesterday. Okay, same thing. So same changing of the variable. Everybody understood? First tell me that. Yeah, is it clear? Any questions into this? Use arrow function. Yeah, that is what we used. Yes, clear? Any questions? No, I guess nobody's typing. So let's go and let's try to replace the same thing what we did yesterday. Now, on click is, this is one thing that let's keep it as a side. Now here, after clicking, before clicking actually, or let it be, let's not confuse with this. Let me have another input box over here, and that input box will show. So this is the input box, will show my details about that. Okay, so these two things I'm just going to copy from here, and I'll remove this layout from here for now. Array, this will not work. This is the HTML, right? So in HTML you can't use // okay, there will be colon, angular bracket, and then exclamation dot kind of stuff. Okay, so here I'm just putting that thing. Now see, same stuff what we did yesterday, here I'm going to do with the hook. Okay, so yesterday we used state for implementing the same thing. I'm going to use hook. Okay, now so this doesn't need state.text or something. Here I just need the variable name. Okay, I'm saving it, and you can see on the screen. Okay, it might have failed because there is no update kind of stuff. Fine. On change, I'm going to call, what I'm going to call, I'm going to do it like this, bracket, arrow, and here I'll call it set name. But here I need to pass the value as event. Okay, I need to create the separate function for this. Actually, here I'll pass event, and that event I'll p dot target dot value. Okay, so that's something you will not understand right now. Okay, fine. So that is what is going to happen over there. Okay, see, Akshay came over here, right? My name is Akshay. Now if I start typing, see, the above one is changing, Akshay, right? So this is what, the same thing what we did yesterday is changing because of this. And if I type something like take amplifiers, it will come over there. Yeah, so this is happening, right? So if I go and change the initial state as empty, let's suppose React. Okay, so this is the initial thing I'm changing. So look at the, when page is loading, it is showing React, but as soon as I start changing, it will go and change. Same thing, whatever we have implemented yesterday with number of lines of code, that has reduced to I don't know how many lines, but it has reduced. Okay, so this is interesting. This is very saving your lines of codes, and that's why people are preferring. That's why people are going with this. See, look at this, only on change function which was same, right? On change, same function, only the parameter which was passing update. That update is going here, and this actually it is going inside and doing the set. That is what is not possible directly over here. Okay, so that is what we have achieved using this particular stuff, set name, and then same thing. Actually, we need to pass the e dot target because there is an event which is happening. To that event, there will be a the event is happening on the target. That target will be input box, and from input box, whatever value we are getting, we are showing it there. Okay, so that is what is happening. What I say? Yeah, everybody clear? Yes, can we take one more example of this? Yep. So now, so this is it. So two examples are, yes, we did a counter. like this is what it is changing, and this is the texting. Okay, now let's go and understand next important thing, that is use effect. So that is a different rule. Okay, so now what use effect does is, actually it will help us to change the data or do something when something will change. Okay, if suppose the variable changes from here. Okay, so like where we implemented, let me just quickly check. We built an application in our last bootcamp called as movie reading app. Okay, action listener, yeah, action listener can be a yeah, action listener, yes, absolutely right. So let me just give you with the example actually. Okay, so people will not understand what is this action listener. Okay, fine. So we built an application called as movie rating app. In that app, what we were doing is we were having list of movies, and on click of list of movies, we used to on click of any movie, we used to get the details of the movie, and there was stars. So if you click on stars, okay, if you click on stars, the rating whatever we have provided earlier, like if the rating was 5 star earlier and the person logs in and he gives the rating as 1 star, then average of that rating will get updated above, right? So that on change of something, the next thing, even though I haven't touched it, even though I haven't changed it, it should get changed. For that we are, so there will be somebody who is keeping eye, like ye change hua kya, uske hisab se usko change karna hai, right? So that sort of stuff, if you want to implement this dynamic kind of approach in your application, which we will see at the time of search and drop down, that search and filter ke time pe we'll use it. Okay, so that is what we will see with the example. Okay, so let me just, I don't have any sort of example, let me just quickly check the example of use effect. Okay, so that I can help you without the simple example. Actually, I'm having that example of this particular our application, but that will not that doesn't seems to be good thing for right now, at least. Okay, yeah, so this sort of thing, yeah, so we'll go with the same sort of example that what we did with the count. Okay, so it will help us to understand better, because correlated concepts you will understand for a very long time. Okay, it's fine. So let's go and check with the, let me create, here I go, let me create a new component over here. So components, and new file. That is how I was creating component. Okay, so actually yesterday I just did one wrong statement, that is you have to create the component with capital letters. It is not mandatory. Okay, you can use anything, but for just my understanding, to help me understand that this is a component, I'm creating it as with a capital letter first. Okay, you can create a small as well, that is up to you. Okay, I love to start the component with capital, that's why I do it, just for fun. Fine, so let me just take it as counter. Okay, so counter.js. Fine, so this is my counter.js, and in that I'm just having a yes, somebody was there in the chat box. In Amazon we see products when we visit the page first time, because the data is refreshed from the database before entering down. This can be example of using. Correct, perfect. Come on. Yeah, so yeah, so actually that is initialization of that data actually. So that is initialization, but there is one more. So that is your, so there are two things. First you will initialize the data, second thing is you will change, you will update the data according to some event. That is what Ame was talking about. That is it is listening to something, or it is binding to some event, or not event actually, it is binding to some other part of the screen, and if that part of the screen changes, the actual particular component will also change. Okay, so let's go and quickly check with the example, so that it will help you to understand the things more better. Okay, I just have an example which I copied from the official website of react.org. Okay, so that is what I like to do, go and use the official website, right? So this is the example that they give, but this example, so I'll make it as counter, because my component name is counter. Okay, and basically it is counting the things. Okay, so now, but I'll not be able to use the counter in my app.js, because I'll not be able to use it because this counter is not exported. Okay, first what I need to do is I need to export. This is from wherever you're going to take the example. If you are building a big project, like that project is having multiple components, like see, App.js is main container. In that I'm having layout component, test component, and counter component. Okay, so every component needs to be exported in that particular file. Okay, so export default and that name of the component counter. Once this is done, you're done. You can use it later on. Now start coding. क्या क्या किया है देखते हैं. चलो ठीक है. So now, so forget about this. Did okay, so it is updating the title. Wow, fine. So let's go and try. Okay, so now but it is doing continuously. I just want to do it once. Okay, so if I want to do it once, I'll do it with this. If I wanted to do it on the change of something, that we will work on this. We will add the value of that. Okay, so actually what it is doing is, right now I'll tell you. Sorry, it was like this, right? Yeah, it was like this. Fine, so let's go and try to understand what exactly this is doing. Okay, so this use effect, so the way we were writing the what was that yeah, use state is this is syntax of implementing use state, and this is the syntax of implementing use effect. The different syntax, because their stuff, their work is totally different. Okay, now what this use effect is doing is, it is actually automatically executing this thing automatically. Okay, so initially it is, the value of count is 0. Okay, so value, that is what we are getting, and that value of count 0, it is initializing automatically. Once you change the count, so count will change, and that count will automatically get appeared, because we haven't passed. So there are two parameters actually we passed to use effect. First thing is what to do, first parameter. Second parameter is when to do. Okay, so Kamal, this might be new for you as well. Okay, so first parameter of this use effect is what to do, second parameter is when to do. Okay, so so this is what you need to do, that is function, and then function will execute. It will change the title that you clicked this many times, and here so let's go and let's give it a try. Okay, so this component, I'm going to remove the previous component, that is test, and I'm going to add a counter component in my app.js. Okay, so test I'm removing, and I'm adding counter. Import counter from dot slash components slash counter. Okay, so this will go and if there are no errors, it will go and load there. Yeah, there are no errors. Fine, that's okay. So hold on a second. Yep, so we are here. So on this particular component, we are able to see the title. You clicked 0 time. Actually, they are trying to change the title itself. Okay, so but the effect you will able to see over here, right? Once we are changing this, the things are getting changed over there as well. So that is where they try to use it. Let me make it simple. Let me make it simple by doing this. Okay, so suppose here if I try to add one hold on a second. So let it allow to return a div, but that will not happen again. Let's go and update the name of the variable. Okay, so name are we using somewhere? So let me create the name const, or let me just quickly copy it from there. Control copy. Okay, yeah, here we have name, and it is setting as URL. So let's update the name when name, or call the set name. Okay, set name is equal to whatever the name we are going to add it into input. That is what I wanted to do. Or let me set it to Akshay. Okay, saving it, or let me pass. Fine, that is okay. Here we go. Okay, so now see this set name will occur, and that name I want it over here. Like Akshay, you click these many times. So Akshay, you click 0 times, like so. This is the default value which I got. Okay, I don't know why this has not changed yet. Just quickly check. Yeah, so this is where I'm getting Akshay directly. Sorry. Hold on a second. Why it is changing the document? I don't know. But forget about that later on. So we'll talk about that. See. So first, there are two things. As I said, what to do. So whenever this use effect will get called, use effect will get called. So right now here we did it like this. That's why I guess it is going and updating the document directly. If I put a parameter called as, see, there are two things. Okay. So use effect will have effect what to do if it is what to do. Okay. And there will be comma, after comma there will be dependencies. Dependencies means when to do. If this happens, then go and change. If this doesn't happens, if that doesn't change, don't go and do anything. Okay, so that is what it is doing. Okay, so in the example as well, there they have so in the example as well, so in the description, if it will only activate if the value in the list, this is the list basically, if the value in the list changes. Okay, so there is nothing, so initially value will get set. Okay, so yeah, so this value has got set. Let me just quickly refresh. Yeah, and I click 0 times, that is updating. Okay, hold on a second, hold on. Okay, so let me just explain you with their concept so that it will click. Okay, now here what I'm doing is, so this is the basic thing, that is update every time the value will change. Okay, now so there is one more funda, that is to update only in the initial time, that is with the empty brackets. Okay, so now once the variable will change, this variable, so this will get called, use effect will get called only once, because we have added nothing over here. Okay, if we don't add anything, it will go and change, or it will take the effect only once. Okay, so that is with this, so it will be 0, so it will, that is what the initial value. Okay, if I click 1, so previously it was updating, that will not happen because we have removed, the thing is updating only once. Okay, now let me just show you, if I remove the parameter, then it is updating, because we are just setting this count. You click 0 times. Yeah, so that is, we are calling it every time, but you can have the variable name as well. Instead of not giving anything, you can pass the variable name, that is count. If count changes, if the value of count changes, so that time as well you can go see. Right now it has came over there. Yeah, so if the value of count changes, this has not worked. Wait a minute, like this, I guess. Yeah, so this, see, let's come back to the things. Okay, so because of two examples I got confused and you guys also confused. Fine, so use effect is the hook which will help us to go and change the data if something else is changing. Okay, so look at this, right? So what the syntax of this is, what to do and on the change of whom or where, when to do. Okay, so if there is nothing, by default it is changed, it is taking the value that we are having in the state. Okay, so if the state of anything is changing, so only state of count was changing. Okay, so that is why it was taking by default, that if state change, then go and do the things. Okay, now in similar way, let me just I'll show you the example. Actually, I just wanted to play with this. Okay, set name as this. Now it will make sense, and I'll add it here, p and name. Okay, so here I go. Yeah, now this is what I'll get. I get only name. Okay, अरे bracket में नहीं डाला क्या? Now it is talking. Let me just refresh. I don't wanted that on the top because my name is looking good there. Okay, fine. So let's look at this. Okay, so this is what is coming. Or let me just change the text. You, instead of I'll click I, or let me just have the name as well. No, I can't have name over there. Yeah, I clicked. So this is the name that we are setting over there. Okay, So now, so this is coming from the effect and this is coming from the state. Okay, so look at this. Okay, so when I'm clicking on the button, event is occurring which is changing the state. Okay, so state value will change, but whenever we are changing the value of this variable, okay, so value of this variable, that time the event or the effect is happening on the above thing, that is called as the dependency. That is what we call as dependency. That is where it is happening. Okay, but so now because we haven't passed anything, but if we pass some parameters like the name of the component, like if only name changes, then do this. If doesn't, nothing changes, don't do this. Okay, so if you don't want to do, or if you want to load something initially, like somebody mentioned, Kamal, I guess, initially why you are seeing all the things on Amazon website, because they have used something like this, that is initialization of this particular thing. Okay, whatever you are going to pass, let's take an example that value of this count is 10, that 10 will come up over here, it will only execute once, and it will set the name as, so initial value of name is React, but this use effect will take place and it will change the value of the variable name. It will set this. Okay, so that's why on the initial click you will see I click 10 times over there, because that's the value of this particular variable. That's what I'm saying. If I increase right now, since I use the brackets, it will not affect again. Okay, because it is mentioned that update only once. That is only initially. Nothing. Don't update anything. So this is the only thing which will change. Okay. So now, like this example, let me tell you when this will work. When this case will work. Now, suppose you are having multiple boxes over here, and you don't know on which box you click. Okay. Suppose on click of this uh, any of the box, you want to go and open something else or do some operation on the right hand side. So that time that is a dependence, like this particular blocks on the right hand side is dependent on left hand side block, but from left hand side there is a small component on that it is dependent on. If you click on other components, it will not affect. That sort of dependency you can create using use effect. Yep. Yes, is it clear? Yeah, so just go and practice it. So this is very important concept, and we are going to need it every time we are going to do anything going forward for next 5 days. Okay, so do it rigorously, complete it and finish it off, and then I want you to share the screenshots on the web. Okay, so that is very mandatory. Okay, so these are basic things that we're doing over here just to understand the concept. So from Monday we are going to implement the actual thing. Okay, so that will be pretty much fun. Okay, yes, or let's go and start implementing that project itself, so that we will be able to understand the concept pretty clearly, because this is not making any sense. Okay, so already we created 3 components. You must be having these components, so we will rename them to mailbox and whatever I have shown you in tomorrow's lecture, and we'll create route as well. Tomorrow we are going to learn state management and route. So that day, tomorrow itself, we will connect and we'll do the changes. Is that okay? Because along with the learning you will also build a project. That's the agenda. Okay, yeah, that's all for the day. So just go and implement the things quickly, and I just wanted to see your results. Okay, that's it. Any questions? I'll be here for next 2 minutes. Anyone wants to ask any question? Yeah, quick check. Nobody? Perfect, fine, not an issue. So just go and finish it up and come up with questions. The next time, tomorrow when you're going to come, I want you to, I'm facing this sort of issue. You will face issues or problems in your code only when you will implement. Okay, if you're not facing issue, there are 2 reasons: either you implemented everything right, or you're not implemented. Okay, so I don't want you to follow don't want you to go in the second category. Go and implement it. If you fail, put it in a group. We have a lot many people out there who will help you out. Okay, so that's all for the day. There is one question I wanted to ask before quitting. Okay, so how did you find this whole last 4 days? Is it interesting? Are you learning something amazing? Are you feeling this is great? Yep. So can I quickly take a poll for this as well? Yes. Only 2 people out there. Yeah, I'm facing it right now. I'm facing it right now. What was that? I didn't got you. Sorry. Fine. So I'll not be able to launch that poll right now because it will take. I need to go on another call. So one more thing. What do you think? What I might be learning? Yes, I told you right twice, thrice, 4, 5 times. Can I use it? Just a minute, Uma. Just a minute. Okay. So what do you think I might be learning after this session? Yes. Can anybody guess? Any guesses? Any guesses? Any random guesses? What do you think I might be learning after this session? I'm delivering, and then I told you last time I'm learning something that is from 8 to 10. It is already started. I joined from my mobile, so I'm just waiting for one question. Yep. So fine. Nobody is able to guess. So I'm learning how to automate the business. Okay. So that is something which is very important. So because I don't want to invest my time, my full time into arranging the things and all those things, and I don't want to hire a lot of people because managing people is again a problem. So I'm just because we are programmers and we know how to automate stuff. That's what we do in Internet of Things. But that is physical automation. I'm automating the system that we are having at Tech Amplifiers. Okay, so I'm learning it basically right now. I'm not automating, so learning the things, and then we are going to do it so that maximum time the machines will work for me. Okay, I don't want to work more than that. So we have brain that let's use it and make it something really crazy. Okay, so that's what I just want to tell you. Work hard and just implement the things. Just use the knowledge that you're having into your day-to-day life. Then only it will help you. Otherwise, nothing. So if you're learning something and implementing to somebody else, he's going to grow, not you. Okay, just keep in mind and start working. Bye bye.